Mountain Park. And I'm so happy to have my guests here today, Mel and Renee Turner, and Max and Angelique Anderson. And in the background, you'll hear from in a few moments, Joy and Mike Watkins. So the theme of this year's event is Back to the Basics. Okay. Dating your spouse after the wedding. All right, Angelique, what's this about?
Well, let me tell you.
You got kids.
Yeah, right. That's exactly where I was going with the anniversary. Did not even acknowledge it because we have a daughter with a birthday 2 days before. And there was so much focus on her birthday party that and we were just so embarrassed by that. And we kind of looked at each other and we both forgot equally. So we apologized and said, this will never happen again. Because when you get as busy as we are with full-time jobs, 3 kids, you're running them here and there, gymnastics, dance, we get lost in the shuffle. And so what do we want to do? We want to keep each other in the focus. So that's what this whole thing was about.
Now, you work a crazy job, so your hours are very hither, go, and everywhere. So, Max, how do you plan the dates, or does Angelique? Or you both?
I think we do it both, but I think, probably Angelique is probably more so in terms of where she wants to go. And I'll make it happen to make sure that we go where she wants to go. But just to piggyback on what Angelique said, it is a important thing that you need to incorporate in any kind of relationship. Taking time for you and your spouse to dedicate themselves to one another. And the funny thing is that now that our children are older, they sort of frown like, oh, I'm not included anymore?
You're going out again?
Yeah, you're going out again? So you're going to have all these types of distractions, but you have to be focused. And one of the things we're getting ready to go somewhere next week. And we still get our oldest children to say, well, how come we couldn't go? How come we couldn't go? So, but we are dedicating it for ourselves that we're going to have fun like we did before we had our children, so that we keep the fires burning.
And that is a direct result of Heart of Marriage, because we've been going the last 2 years, and I think our date nights have increased tremendously over the last 2 years because of a session we went to and said, hey, you know what? We're going to celebrate ourselves.
Right.
So if you're out there listening and you are in the hustle and bustle and forgetting your spouse, this is something that can recharge you right here with this retreat.
Oh, I love that. Now I'm going to go over here to you 33-year folks.
Oh.
We got the 19-year folks. Now we're going to go over to the 33-year folks. So I want to talk about the intimacy versus sex. Because women always talk about intimacy. Men talk about sex. So how do we get a balance here? And this is an adult show.
Go ahead, honey.
Well, I really think it all goes back to communication again. But in terms of intimacy, feeling connected to your spouse, what I found is, I really recommend the book, The 5 Love Languages. Because when we understand each other's love languages, Mel's is words of affirmation, mine is acts of service. So for me, intimacy that could lead to sex, I need to feel like my needs are being met, and for me, that's acts of service. I know early on in our marriage, he would be like, I don't understand what a dirty bedroom and bathroom has to do with...
Let's do this.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
No, there is a correlation. Yes, there's a correlation there.
Toilet seat left up.
Cut that grass. Yeah, let's get on.
So as he began to really understand my love language, for me to feel like you love me, for me to feel cared for, I need acts of service. And that because then that makes me feel intimate, feel connected to you,
right,
which then can be expressed, obviously,
right,
in a physical way.
Yeah, I mean, it works both ways. But men, scrub a dish. Mop a floor.
That gets
Do
you
a
what
toilet.
you want.
Cut the grass. It's acts of service for Renee, but when we talk about intimacy is what drives sex. Sex is just one aspect of intimacy. Intimacy can have intellectual intimacy, emotional intimacy, social intimacy, all of those things. Spiritual, most importantly, spiritual intimacy. And I think it's important, this is a Christian retreat, that we as believers have to take sex back. God ordained it. Mm-hmm. And it's within the context of one man, one woman. and being married. And I have a responsibility to understand Renee's emotional needs, and that's what drives a physical intimacy for us. And if you want to, healthy resolution of conflict drives your physical intimacy as well. If you're connected, if you're resolving conflict and you don't run from it and you stay with it, there's something that makes your mate just get all, because you stayed here and we worked this out and all that. And that's where all those old songs in the 50s and 60s, that whole idea of makeup sex, that's what that's about. Because you feel connected, you stayed, you didn't run, we worked it out. I feel connected to you. And God designed sex to be a physical manifestation of that emotional and spiritual connectedness.
Ooh, so that's another good workshop. Now, we got another one to talk about, and then I'm going to tell you how someone who's listening today could win not only a chance to go to this retreat, but also to have your room paid for too.
Wow.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
that's
Wow.
special. That's real special. So stick around. We'll talk about that. And if I can get the four of them and maybe the Watkins also to talk about pleasures of the night. I read what that one was about. I'm really interested in that.
Yes, Lord.
We're going to talk about that when we come back. But right now, I need the 14th caller at 404-741-0104. Why? Because if you're the 14th caller, this is my last set of tickets to give away. Tickets to an evening under the stars. Oh, mint condition. Johnny Gill, my. And Zap, that's Saturday, August 13th at Wolf Creek Amphitheater. Give me a call at 404-741-0104. You're listening to KISS.